The international business landscape operates as a closed ecosystem. It relies on a specific dialect. Lacking this vocabulary creates a barrier to entry, regardless of a candidate's actual technical skills. Entering this world begins with recruitment, the process of finding and hiring qualified individuals. Once hired, you undergo onboarding, where you are prepared for your specific role. During this phase, new employees often seek guidance or direct help to navigate their new responsibilities. Day 1 introduces the physical and cultural boundaries of the firm. You report to the headquarters, the main office where the company is managed. You also adopt the company dress code, the specific rules regarding what clothing is required for the workplace. Mastering these initial terms marks the transition from an outsider to an integrated member of the organization, ready to begin daily operations. Before work begins, a project needs capital. This starts with an investment, putting resources into a project with the goal of making a profit. To manage those resources, leadership sets a budget, a financial plan that tracks revenues and expenses over a set period. This balance scale shows how a firm maintains equilibrium. An asset is anything the company owns that has value, like equipment or cash. In contrast, a liability is a debt, or what the company currently owes to others. To plan for future costs, teams provide an estimate. This is a rough calculation of value or size, acting as a predictive bridge between current funds and the final project cost. Without this baseline financial vocabulary, it becomes difficult to accurately report on a project's status or justify the ongoing use of company resources. The daily workflow is organized around time management. Meetings are guided by an agenda, a list of items to be discussed. Tasks are governed by a deadline, the specific date by which a goal must be accomplished. Execution requires the right equipment, the set of tools or devices needed for the job. It also requires collaboration, or working together toward a common goal. Once the path is clear, the team will implement the plan, putting the decision into action. This flowchart tracks efficiency. A smooth flow represents high productivity and innovation, the introduction of new, valuable ideas. But the flow stalls when a manager begins to micromanage. This is the practice of watching over every small detail of a department, lowering overall output. Knowing these operational terms reveals the structure behind the work. It makes it easier to spot where a team is effectively collaborating and where administrative friction is starting to stall the process. Moving beyond internal work requires a strategy, a plan to achieve a specific goal. Companies use market research to study customer preferences, which allows them to identify their target audience, the specific group of people most likely to buy the product. In the open market, you face your competitor, another business trying to outperform yours. To find partners and opportunities, professionals engage in networking, the act of creating professional relationships to exchange information. To build a public image, firms use a commercial, a paid advertisement on TV or radio, as well as public relations, or PR, to ensure the community views the company in a positive way. This slide layout is the core of a sales pitch, a convincing presentation designed to interest investors. To make the data easier to understand, the presenter uses visual aids, such as the charts and maps shown here. Connecting strategy to execution requires this specific language. Even the best market research is ineffective if it cannot be presented clearly to stakeholders. This diagram represents a negotiation, reaching an agreement between parties with different interests. One party offers a bargain, while the other responds with a counteroffer. When they agree, they achieve a consensus, resulting in a partnership where companies work together and share profits. Finalizing the deal requires authorization, or official approval. The contract will contain a specific clause, or term, to protect every stakeholder, any individual or group with an interest in the project's outcome. Contracts include protections and punishments. A penalty is a fine for breaking the agreement, while a guarantee is a promise of quality. The firm's identity is protected by a trademark. If the terms are violated, the deal can become null and void, meaning it is canceled and no longer legally binding. To fulfill a new contract, a company might use outsourcing, hiring a third-party individual or firm to perform specific tasks. Firm. These legal and negotiation terms provide the structural integrity for a deal. Without them, a verbal agreement lacks protection in the international market. After the deal is signed, performance is tracked by the quarter, a 3-month period. To collect payment, the company sends an invoice, an itemized bill for the services provided. This graph isolates a company's success metrics. By comparing total revenue, income from sales, to initial costs, we find the profitability. The gap between cost and income is the return on investment, or ROI. If the ROI is high, leadership may accept a higher risk to expand. This can lead to an acquisition, buying another firm to increase profit. Long-term loyalty is maintained through after-sales service, the help and maintenance provided after the initial purchase is complete. Mastering these terms allows a professional to translate their daily efforts into the metrics that matter to leadership, turning a finished project into a clear record of performance. Retention requires practice. Read international business news and analyze company websites to see these words in context. Using platforms like FluentU allows you to study these terms through authentic video content, bridging the gap between memorization and real-world fluency.